Hello everybody, this is Blue Streak TF, here with Transformers Age of the Primes Amalgamous Prime. Alright, now before we actually talk about the Amalgamous figure, first we're going to take a look at the packaging. So, right up front, here we have a picture of Amalgamous Prime, who looks suspiciously like Shockwave, holding his transformation cog, which he comes with, and he was actually the first Prime to transform, and he was able to transform into anything. So he kind of developed the transformation cog and that sort of thing, gave it to the other Primes, allowed them to transform, so that sort of thing. Anyway, here he is in his alternate mode. Okay. Big Red Transformers, Gold Age of the Primes. His name is Amalgamous Prime. He's part of the 13. That's his logo right there. On this side we have the same picture of Amalgamous, just bigger. Again, same front printing on the side there. On this side we have the mural of the Primes. It says up here till all are one. Primes here, if you're wondering, are Onyx Prime, Amalgamous Prime, and Quintus Prime. Down here he's a Voyager class. On the back of the packaging, you have your product shots, so you know what you're getting if you don't know already. He's an authentic Transformer. Got some warnings. Kids, if you're under 3 years old, do not eat this. If you're over 3 years old, that's fine to eat it. And you get some barcodes on the back. On the top, you just have the 13 Amalgamous Prime up there, and that is all there is to say about the packaging. So, let's bring out Amalgamous Prime in his spider tank mode. Okay. Yeah, this is a unique alternate mode. I will give him that. Okay. Yeah, this is weird. There's no getting around it. This is a weird alternate mode. But I still really like this figure. I was super excited for this figure from the moment that I saw the first leaked images of him. I was like, yes, I can't wait to get him. And now I do, so I have him, that is. Anyway, you can see there's a little bit of red there on the front. There's just a lot of grays here. Some nice gold paint here. It's really cool. Some more gold decaling there. Some gold plastic, some gray, but yeah, there's just a lot of grays on here, which, you know, I've heard people say could have used more paint, but I think it works well. I think it works pretty good. You got a lot of really great detailing all around. You got these black treads up here, and then there's just some more detailing on this. Now, I do have these twisted around, you know, because they do rotate. They're really snug on mine, and actually, I guess I could flip this around if I wanted to, you know. Flip it like this, and then we got some more detailing in there, and then just make everything look a little bit nicer. But when I got this guy and was first figuring out how to transform him, the joints on this thing were really stiff, and I was actually really scared of breaking him. Okay. This has a little tab, which is a little slot right there. I guess these could just snug up to. And then that looks a little bit nicer than that, I'll admit. There goes his head. But I think this gives it some cool looks to it. Yeah, his head just popped off because the post on this is really small. If it does, it just pegs right into there, and you can just plug that back in, like so. Yeah, whether or not how you want to orient the legs on this is totally up to you. Anyway, so for articulation wise, the arms can go in and out, kind of both ways like that, they do rotate right here, and then they have some joints on them, and so they can rotate these, or the wrists on these little feet rotate, and then they can pivot down like that too, which I just want to say the detailing on the hands is really, really nice, really cool. Yeah, that's kind of the basic gist of his spider tank. Batman, no, I don't know why I said Batman. Anyway, alternate mode. He does have some accessories which can be pegged on to this mode here. First off, we have two of these. Dropped it. Two of these things. I don't know what they're supposed to be. Probably just like lights or extra detailing. They are casted in a transparent orange plastic and painted over with a really nice silver paint. They do make me think of like the eyes on the little guys in the Bay movies, which not super thrilled about that because I don't like the Bay movies, so whatever. But these can be pegged onto the side of this, like so. Or they can be pegged onto any one of numerous ports along the side of this figure, and can even plug on the side like that. Oh goodness, I hope I didn't break anything. Nope, we're good. We're good. I prefer leaving them off, but your toy, you can do with it what you wish to. He also comes with this. I think it's supposed to be like a transformation cog from like Transformers Prime, because that's what it looks like to me. Orange plastic, or transparent orange plastic, and really, really well sculpted. I don't know how well that's coming across on the camera, but that is sculpted really, really nicely. And he comes with this, which is a Scythe weapon, which you can just fold up like that. And the head here is cast in a transparent orange, painted over with some really nice silver paint. Got some little notches in there, some like teeth. I don't know, but the molding on this is really, really cool. And then you just kind of have a simple golden handle on there, which this piece can just peg right onto, and then you have a bit of a bottom end on your side, which is what I prefer using this for. He also comes with this little blaster, which is blast effect compatible. Should really grab some blast effects, but the ones that are out right now are my brother's, so I don't want to go and take his stuff without asking. Anyway, this little handle on the bottom can peg right into here, and got it like that, and then this can still just fold up like that. Doesn't impede that at all. And the instructions do tell you for integrating this into the alternate mode. You just flip it like that, and then these, you just kind of get one of those legs out of the way, and then just slide that through, and this will peg right into this hole here. Maybe? I don't understand what it is with mine, but it just keeps doing that. And then it's like that, so I didn't need to move the leg out of the way in the first place anyway. But then yeah, you can kind of have that going on. Yeah, that is almost all of the accessories that come with this figure. We'll talk about the last one in a little bit. But for now, we'll just do a quick alternate mode comparison with the other primes. Alright, so here's Amalgamous, scaled with the other 6 primes that I've reviewed so far. Solus Prime, Quintus Prime, Alchemist Prime, Micronus Prime, Prima Prime, and Alpha Trion. So you can kind of see how that works out. Starting to get to be a lot of primes. Alright, now it's time to get to the transformation of Amalgamous Prime. We're not going to turn him into his robot mode. We're actually going to turn him into some of his other alternate modes, because he is a multi-mode shapeshifter, or he can just transform into anything that your heart desires. Because Amalgamous Prime can transform into anything in the lore. That's super cool to me. Like, super cool. Anyway, so we're gonna go through the alternate modes that are detailed in the instructions, and then at the end of the video I will go over one of my fan modes that I came up with that I featured in a short. So first off, we're just going to pop off all of his legs, like so, and then we're going to pop off his actual robot mode legs. And then we can just set this off to the side for now. And then, alright, so we'll just bring in all of these extra pieces here. That accomplishes nothing but creating a great big mess. Anyway, so first off, we're going to go over the tank mode. So first what you want to do is take these 2 feet and just slot them together like so, and then you just want to collapse those back like that. Let's see, looking at this for reference. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and actually going to separate these again so we can take this and stick it right in a port right in there, like so, and then we'll just sandwich that in there, like so. So you got that, and then what you want to do is you want to take these pieces with these golden sections on them, and you just want to open them up, like so, and orient them so they look like this. So we'll do that on this side as well. Take that, rotate it forward, then just combine these together like that. And this is actually one of the other alt modes that they show you to do. It's this little spaceship. So it's actually really cool little spaceship. If we can just talk about this for a quick second. He's got his hands off the front, and you kind of have to do some really crazy suspension of disbelief here, saying this is a spaceship made from the entirety of Amalgamous Prime. Oh well, it's fun. I like it. And then that port will go into that hole there, and you'll just slot it on, and there you have tank mode, or just like a regular little tank. So we can just kind of roll along and blast Decepticons or Quintessons, and then just smack them with the back of this. That's fun. And then with this, another thing you can do is you can pull that apart and take one of these pieces, and there are ports on the inside of the arms where you can stick that in, and now you've got a flying eyeball. I see you. Could be like Sauron, but mobile. Anyway, and then you have these. So what you can do with these is you just fold them at the elbow there, and then rotate them so the palms are facing down, like that. And then you stick these together, and now you have a little car, which can just kind of zip from side to side. Maybe if it was a little bit smoother. Anyway, yeah, because these aren't terribly smooth, but oh well. And then you can take these eye pieces and slot them together, and now Sauron is mobile but on the ground. I see you, little gophers that are scurrying along the road, and squirrels and stuff. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the extra alternate modes that this guy has. So I'm going to attach everything back up to his main body, and then we can go from there into regular robot mode. Alright, now we're gonna get him into robot mode. So first, what you're gonna want to do is just take, and that was pegged in there, so just disconnect that and bring that around, like so. Actually for this I'm just gonna rotate these around, like so, just so we can have a little bit of matchy-matchy going on. And this figure can be kind of confusing, just how everything is all different and whatnot. Let's rotate these around, just so we can get these two match up. Oh goodness, that almost popped off. Gotta love stiff mushroom joints. When I first got this guy, I was really scared I was gonna break something. Put your head back on, please. Don't lose your head. Calm down, don't lose your head, man. Anyway, and then just take these and fold them up. There is a little tab on his shin that plugged right into the back of his thigh, and just fold those out. This tab was set right in there. Just fold those out like so. And then you just take these and fold them back, and then these can be folded out and then rotated around like so. Right, so just fold that out, extend that, rotate that around, and then you can just kind of stand him however works best, and you've got his legs all transformed and done. Then what you're going to want to do is take his head off for now, just because it's going to fall off, and rotate this section out like so, and that will only come to about there. I'm just going to put his head back on because I can, and then come here, open up this top section, take this peg, rotate it back, it's about there, take this section that was in here and rotate this around, which is very stiff. Be careful that it doesn't break, and then close that back up. Then there's a joint right in here that will allow you to collapse this forward, rotate his waist around, tuck this up into there, and pardon me while I raise the camera a second. Alright, and then rotate that down, straighten out his face, ready his legs, and spread out his arms, rotate those down a little bit, rotate the wrists forward, like so, rotating wrists, bring that down, take these sections, fold them up, and there is Amalgamous Prime in his robot mode. It basically just looks like a Hunchback, General Grievous, Shockwave, but gray. Very unique robot mode design, and I think it's pretty cool. Here in his face, here we can see some pretty good detail on there. That little bit of red gold circle, the orange eye. Still have these gold pieces here. And a lot of the details are pretty much the same from the alternate mode. You get some nice gear detailing on that. Got a little bit of gold in there, some gunmetal gray paint, and then tread feet, some toes. Yeah, he's really, really cool. For accessories, you can take these pieces and plug them on like so. Now he looks a little bit more silly, I guess. I don't know. And then his scythe can just be plugged right into his hand. Any one of his 4 hands can hold that. This blaster here can it? Yes, it can just plug into one of his hands like that. I, however, prefer to just leave it plugged into the scythe, like so. For his last accessory, you can pop off his head so we can take a look at it. Oh yeah, he does have some subtle light piping. He'd be like, you say something shocking to him and he goes, rat. Anyway, just come around here and just want to lift up the top part of his head and push on his eye. And, oh, jeepers. This will pop out. It's the transformation cog that he comes with. It's his eye. That's kind of weird that's his eye. Now he just has that gaping hole in his head. It's actually kind of weird. But yeah, this is really, really cool. It has really great molding on it. That transparent orange plastic with the silver paint. It looks very, very cool in my opinion. But we'll just plug that back into his head, back into his face, put his head back on, and now we're ready to talk about the articulation of this dude. Alright, so for articulation, we're starting at the head here. So he can look left and right, can look up, can look down considerable amount. He can look sideways all the way around. Now he does actually come, I just thought of this now, he does actually come transformed slightly differently, but the instructions do tell you how to get him back to normal. He has a sideways ab crunch on a ratchet, so that's kind of cool. Like he just kind of leans sideways a little bit. That's super neat. He can fall apart if you're not careful. He can bend forward a little bit. He can bend way back. Ah! His shoulders can rotate around like so. These can rotate forward and back. Oh, okay, that is really stiff still. I'm scared of that. He does have a rotation here. He has an elbow bend on all of his arms. They're jointed the same way. And then, he has wrist swivel and inward movement like that. And then, the thing goes in and out on all those. He has waist rotation. His legs can pop off. That's super fun. So we can kick forward, can kick back, some, not a lot. You can kick out to the side like so. I guess this could be his thigh rotation, and then he has digitigrade knee joints like that, and ankle rotation. All right. And I believe that is pretty much it for this video. Let's see. I don't think I did a robot mode size comparison. So if I haven't, I will do that. If I have already done it, I'm not going to do it again. And here is Amalgamous with the 5 other of the, no, 6. The 6 other of the 13, all in their robot modes. So you can see how that works out. Alright, so now I'm going to go through how to make the Super Robo Jetpack Scythe chicken thing. It was in a short that I did. I'll link that in the description if I can. Definitely go check that out. This video has been a long time in coming. I've just been so busy, and finally getting around to filming the last part of it so I can get it out. Anyway, so I'm gonna take the side, set it off inside, and then what we're gonna do is, I believe, rotate his head around like that, and then fold his back, rotate his waist around. I'm going to take off these pieces here, and I think fold these out like so, so we can fold the legs up like so, and then we will rotate arms forward, fold this so we are facing like that. Do the same on this side as well, and just rotate that around, and then rotate that wrist around like so. And then I believe what we do next is rotate these around and fold the wrists out like that. It's been a little while since I've made this form, so I don't exactly remember how it goes, but we'll see. And then I believe what we did next was stick these on here, be part of his jetpack, I think. Like this, and then just take and stick his side back in his hand like that. And then there is, to the best of my knowledge, the Super Robo Jetpack Scythe chicken thing. And again, I'll try to put a link to that short in the description so you can check that out once this video is over. I will also have a link to my Age of the Primes playlist where I have the videos of the other primes that I've reviewed so far, if you want to check that out. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. So just remember that Jesus loves you, and I will see you next time.